Hello, good morning. Welcome to you, our viewers watching on air and online. My name is Jessie Leonce, and this is another installment of the NTN Morning News Update. I'm joined in studio by my colleague Carlton Cyril, as usual, as we bring you the latest developments coming from the government of Saint Lucia. This morning, we have quite a few updates to look at. This morning, we have the common entrance examinations being held. We wish all the best of luck to the students, the candidates sitting this exam today. Also, we have some training that's ongoing for COVID health and safety, COVID-19 health and safety from the Ministry of Tourism for their subsectors. We also have a report from the National Insurance Corporation on the economic relief program applications, as well as we have a special program coming up at 11 a.m. live on NTN, looking at a continuation of the panel discussion series moderated by Lisa Joseph. We have some information continuing with the information on the official funeral for Cornelius Lubin. An official funeral service will be held for him tomorrow. We have the details on that coming up in just a moment, as well as the CAP survey. We spoke a bit about it on Saturday, but we will be reminding you of the CAP survey that the Ministry of Health and Wellness will be conducting in order to get a better picture of the population's understanding of COVID-19 and what ways it can improve in the sensitization process. We have an update on gas prices, as well as a word that ITEL BPO, that is a business here launching here in St. Lucia this week. The details to these and more coming up in just a moment. Good morning, Carlton. How are you? How was the weekend?
Well, thanks, Mme Jessie. Thank you so much. Et quand nous dit bonjour ou Saint Lucia, bonjour pour vous qui suivez nous sur Facebook. Et nous dit nous continuer un bon week-end. Ici à la coutume, Sainte Camadlan qu'on nous ba information. Nous menons bon matin chez développement parmi eux qui savent chez maman qui a fait common entrance bon matin. Nous bien content pour savoir ça. Parmi l'autre développement qui savent gens qui travaillent dans le secteur touriste, c'est moun ça qui tout fait quoi yo entraîné. Nous avons parole qui a sorti hot CMOA et puis parmi l'autre bagaille nous avons discuté notamment pour défunt Cornelius Lincoln qui travaille en secteur, ça c'est secteur public là, parmi l'autre information. Toujours un plaisir pour nous ici et puis nous toujours dit pour dire l'autre suivre nous pour information les qui a sorti hot Sainte Camadlan. Non moi c'est Carlton Cook Cyril. Merci tellement qu'on nous dit bienvenue à son lundi bon matin.
At the top of the morning, we want to let you know that we have Dr. Sharon Delmar George. She's the Chief Medical Officer, giving us some very important updates with respect to the response here in St. Lucia to COVID-19. It continues. We did see a picture, an image surface onto the social media showing fencing going right into the shores at a particular beach in Rodney Bay, and she will be addressing that situation, why the fencing had to go into the water to the extent just barring off the shoreline at which the quarantine facility in Rodney Bay is at, and we had a lot of persons querying and questioning. She will be giving an answer live this morning via telephone regarding that situation. We hope you could stay tuned for that update and more coming up after this break.
She's been watching, waiting, wondering when the sands of time will give way to a tide of change, and for yesterday and today to become a new tomorrow, for a time when her sun can kiss the cheeks of your loved one and her stars can twinkle in her honeymoon skies, when her earthly embrace will reassure and calm your soul, and her unique view can change your whole perspective. Proudly, she has risen to meet new challenges and to provide safe harbor to all who reach her shores. For her hopes and dreams still stand shoulder to shoulder, a precious reminder of experiences yet to come. So, wherever your moments and memories take you, let her sense of adventure set you free. She is Saint Lucia. Let her inspire you.
thank you so much for staying tuned. If you're just joining us, a special good morning to you. A good morning to the residents of Saint Lucia tuning in, to our well-wishers and Saint Lucians living in the diaspora, looking for an update on government business here in Saint Lucia. My name is Jessie Leonce, joined in studio by Carlton Cyril, as usual, every morning with the government updates. We want to let you all know today is common entrance here in Saint Lucia. Our students, our 10 and 11-year-olds, are sitting the common entrance examinations, and we do wish the candidates all the best of luck this morning. Continuing with updates from the government of Saint Lucia, we have an update on the National Insurance Corporation's Economic Relief Program, their contribution to that initiative. An update on the applications as of June 25th. The total number of applications that have so far been processed, it's 7,643 applications so far. The total number of disallowed claims, that is claims that were denied because they did not qualify, that's 1,400. The total number of queried claims, 1,147. The total number of individuals that have been paid to date, that is 15,096 individuals have so far been paid, and the average pay per individual has been $803.48. The total amount that has so far been paid to date coming out of the NIC is $12,129,332.29. So the NIC is working assiduously to ensure that at this time individuals who have been caught in the gap of this COVID-19 situation and the economic fallout from it are getting some relief. Some income support at this time until things get better. And that is combination with the other measures that have been put in place by the government of St. Lucia under the Social Stabilization Plan, moratoriums, relief on utility bills and so on, to help the individuals who have been directly impacted by this COVID-19 situation, to help them tide until better can be done. We continue with updates. A COVID-19 health and safety training ongoing for tourism transportation providers. A training program on COVID-19 health and safety practices has been scheduled over the next 3 days, starting from today, June 29th, 2019, to Wednesday, July 1st, 2020, targeting a total of 1,000 transportation providers. The training will be delivered on the following health-related topics at various venues in the north and south of the island. Facts on COVID-19, that is critical, surveillance and safety measures, infection prevention and control measures, personal risk responses, working from home, any other area that is deemed necessary as it relates to the transportation providers within the tourism sector. The Ministry of Tourism anticipates that upon completion of this program, tourism transportation providers, service providers will be adequately equipped with information relating to COVID-19, which will allow for practicing the proper protocols when interfacing with visitors entering the island, as well as self-protection from potential cases. The Ministry of Tourism extends heartfelt thanks to the Department of Environmental Health for its continued collaboration in the overall preparedness of the tourism industry through the preparation of various protocols and procedures. It acknowledges the accommodation properties that have graciously agreed to facilitate the training sessions. Again, thanks to them. They are Bay Gardens Beach Resort, Ladera Resort, Stonefield Resort, Leisure Inn, Windjammer Landing, Villa Beach Resort, and Marigot Bay Resort. If you want more information regarding this training that is ongoing, you can contact Samantha Charles. She's a tourism officer. You can contact her at 468-4617 or 720-4618. You can also email her at samantha.charles@govt.lc or Timothy Ferdinand, who's also a tourism officer, at 468-4609 or 724-7108, or email him at timothy.ferdinand@govt.lc. So the tourism transportation service providers at this time are getting the necessary training in order to interact with our visitors. Again, they are one of the first points of contact that tourists make when coming into the island, and given the very sensitive nature of things right now in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic globally, it is good news that the these providers, transportation providers, are getting some sort of training in order to deal with the visitors and to avoid protecting their own selves and avoiding exposing themselves too much to potential cases. Carlton?
Merci tellement. Just qu'on nous continue avec information qu'on y pour faire bon matin lundi ça nous apprécier tellement. Qu'on nous te dit plus bonheur les vini pour c'est maman l'école nous c'est maman là qui en grade 6 au cas ça c'est maman ça qui a fait common entrance là nous a souhaité tout ça qui bon nous déjà mentionné ça et vous pouvez changer aussi avec plan ministre qui est responsable pour éducation il y en a ces bail là qui était fait là pas du temps nous à combattre be wabati vermine covid là arrangement de fait pour ces maman ça joindre à peu près 3 semaines pour yo entraîner koyo et pour préparer pour common entrance. Ben ça qu'a fait jodi et nous qu'a souhaité parents et maman qui kay fait examination ça jodi nous qu'a souhaité tout ça qui bon les vini pour ça qui kay point place. Nous qu'a continuer ici aussi les vini pour NIC pour date ou savent en chay moun ti ka parler d'assistance l'investi pour gouvernement ba plan pour vier pays à sous-pied pour supporter moun qui perd travail les vini pour affaires Covid ou kay savent gouvernement te mettre en bagay en place côté en chay parler te aller sous CGA et puis pour supporter moun pour en 3 mois et ben là NIC déjà dit les vini pour situation ça ou kay savent à peu près à peu près 10 624 applications j'ai entré et puis au cas dit les vini pour situation ça yo même te hen en chay difficulté mais parmi bagay yo ka dit les vini pour date yo jani plus passé 22 000 moun j'ai fait application ça et puis là yo bien content pour dire parmi ces applications ça yo tout yo ja submité yo a hen yo 16 714 ça c'est application qui a trouvé quoi yo toute bagaille vini yo complète application yo là et puis en chay ou kay sa moun ka parler di en chay moun ka di yo poko hen ça yo te vle be yo poko tan hod NIC et puis l'ani raison avec NIC ka di en parmi bagaille plus passer 2000 en ces applications ça yo pas te accepter yo et ça c'est pour yon raison et ben l'autre c'est en compagnie moun pas qualifié les vini pour condition et puis yo vraie application quand même mais yo gado sous pas rien en parmi bagay aussi poser ça c'est est-ce que vous qualifié en l'autre raison qui c'est date qui à présent yo ni 1227 en c'est comme ça yo ka travail à sous toujours en 1585 en c'est comme ça c'est mounza ka vendi dans l'année côté yo ni pour rectifier en parmi information moun bay et puis l'autre raison yo bay c'est date qui les vini pour information date qui yo brisé yo ka di l'année à peu près 10 624 en dedans ces applications ça messieurs information pas avalable yo ka acheter pour les quoi yo ka di yo ni à peu près 1000 côté information yo ka vla yo ka espérer qu'on a trouvé quoi informé il jani à peu près 8568 en dedans ces applications ça déjà mais c'est yo ka travail à sous pour date ou ça plus passer 8 millions dollars 500 068 en l'argent j'ai trouvé quoi il payer moun qui ja hen paiement et plaisir c'est moun ça ka hen $800 et ben plus et ben habilité NIC yo ka do ici pour faire ces paiements ça ni en chay pour faire et puis information bay ni ka sorti hot travail et puis hot ou est-ce que ces informations ça yo dia ka vinn ensemble la ka ni en chay problème yo dit quoi pour raison ça fait assurer application kabay c'est application ou vraiment supposé kabayo. Quand continuer au développement d'information ici à Sainte-Camadlan, là il vient pour un entraînement qui a pris coup par le gouvernement, là il vient pour ces gens transport en secteur touriste, ou qu'ils savent là qu'on nous expecté pour joindre moun ka vie entre un pays bon nan kay ouvert quoi ou qu'ils savent ministre lan Hawaii nécessaire pour yo entraîner moun qui kay transporter parmi bagay quoi yo ka entraîner ces moun ça eh ben il kay prend cours pour 3 jours commencer jeudi à lundi et puis il kay aller pour mercredi le 1er juillet et puis à peu près 1000 moun qui involvé en secteur transport qui trouvé quoi yo entraîné là en Sharon c'est sujet yo kay adressé les vini pour en nord pays et puis en sud pays a parmi information à sous vermine Covid surveillance et ben sauveté pour mettre en place là vini pour manière pour contrôler et empêcher vermine là vini pour wis avec manière pour répondre et puis l'autre yo qui est nécessaire ministre qui est responsable pour affaires secteur touriste qui a dit les moun complete programme ça c'est moun qui a bail service là yo kay en position pour accommoder et puis pour bail information les vini pour Covid quoi là il a dit ministère a dit merci pour ces débattements expressement environnement santé yo kay continuer travail les vini pour mettre protocole en place et puis pour moun suivre JID yo ka dit les vini pour ces gens expressement ces gens qui travaillent en secteur accommodation yo ja d'accord pour faciliter accommodation yo moun kon et puis bay mention pour Bay Gardens Beach and Resort Ladera, Stonefield Resort, Leisure in Windjammer Landing Villa Beach Resort et puis Marigot Bay. Yo ka dou sou vle sav pli, sou vle pli information contacter Mademoiselle Samantha Charles la département touriste ou ici en officier Limoa 468-4617 et ben 720-4618 encore si vous c'est yon qui est intéressé et pour un nettoiement ça et pour plus d'informations couiller Mademoiselle Samantha Charles yon officier département Limo encore 468-4617 720-4618 pour un plus d'informations les y vini pour situation ça quand nous ka quoi c'est un bon bagay vous kay henni assez information les vini pour situation ça nous va continuer ici à pas oublier messieurs dames les vini pour plus tard nous kay parler nous kay un programme qui va venir après-midi parmi moun qui kay la banque développement Saint Lucia kay la credit union qui kay parler à son sujet moi kay ou même kay trouver bien intéressant pour ba information aussi nous kay tan hot CMO Dr. Delmar Charles qu'on iban nous plus information les vini pour en situation ou peut-être kay tandi ici à bord la menu. Plus d'informations et développement qu'on était ici et puis nous sous Sainte-Camadlan ici.
As Carlton rightly mentioned, do stay tuned. We do have the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Delmar. She will be calling in shortly. This is in light of the erection of fencing along the coastline, sectioning off the waterfront of the quarantine facility in Rodney Bay. And we will be hearing from her the reason for this fencing going into the water. A lot of persons have been querying, wondering why this has been done, the necessity for it. She will be speaking and explaining why the office of the CMO, the Ministry of Health, has decided to take that measure among many others. We'll also be getting an update from her in general with respect to the quarantine facility, how persons coming in and going out there, their 14-day stay there, observation and so on. So stay tuned for that very important update from her. Again, to remind you, Saint Lucia has regained, as of last week, a 100% recovery rate here on island. We continue to get negative test results up until this past weekend, and well over 1,500 tests, 1,600 tests have so far been conducted here on island, and There are now 306 people in quarantine. That's the word we're getting from the desk of the CMO. 306 individuals are in quarantine, most of whom are nationals repatriated from cruise ships. All persons in quarantine are doing well to date with no symptoms of COVID-19. We're hearing from the ministry also that it notes the continuous global increase of COVID-19. So though at a national level, we should not become complacent, though at a national level we've been able to manage the epidemic, we remind everyone of the need to remain cautious and maintain behaviors which will reduce the risk of spreading the virus. They also want to remind us that in addition to maintaining hand hygiene and cough etiquette alongside the use of the mask and maintaining physical distancing requirements, self-care is also a necessary component of our prevention efforts. So please take note of that word coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, of additional word coming from the CMO live here on NTN in just a moment. Meantime, health authorities will be working towards improving its efforts to address the COVID-19 pandemic in Saint Lucia following the commencement of the Knowledge, Attitudes and Practices CAP survey. We have a report from Fernell Neptune speaking on the survey that is aimed at getting a better understanding of the population, of how much they understand about COVID-19, how it has impacted our society, and what we should be doing to keep it at bay for as much as possible. Take a listen.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness recently launched the CAP survey aimed at determining the knowledge, attitudes and practices towards COVID-19 among the St. Lucian population. Medical Surveillance Officer Dr. Gemma Sherry provided information on how persons can access the CAP survey.
The survey basically is a web-based survey and it's going to be done through SurveyMonkey. Persons are going to get an invitation, and the invitation is going to be sent out via the two mobile companies, the telecommunications companies, Flow and Digicel, and the link to the survey is also going to be posted on Facebook, WhatsApp group. So you would basically get an invitation, and in that invitation there's a link to the survey.
Dr. Sherry also provided greater insight on the information that will be obtained from the survey to determine the best intervention for responding to COVID-19 in St. Lucia.
So when we talk about knowledge, we basically want to know what it is that persons know about COVID-19. So we basically want to know how much information that the public knows in terms of COVID-19. In terms of attitude, when it comes to attitude, it's basically what you believe. We want to know their thought process, how they think about certain things. So there's been a lot of information about mask. Are persons really going to wear a mask? What you think? Do you think that you should wear a mask, for example, every time that you go out? In terms of the practices, what you do. So there's a lot about hand washing. Are persons actually washing their hands? But it's not just washing your hands for the 20 seconds and washing it the way you're supposed to.
Dr. Sherry also provided greater insight on the information that will be obtained from the survey to determine the best intervention for responding to COVID-19 in St. Lucia.
So the information that we get after we do the analysis, that information is going to help, one, to strengthen what the ministry is already doing. It's going to assist in the decisions that we take. So it's basically going to be used for policy direction and to basically strengthen what is currently happening to ensure the safety of each and every one of us.
The CAP survey will commence on Monday, June 29th and will run for 2 weeks. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fernell Neptune.
Thank you so much, Fernell. Again, we've been receiving updates regularly from Fernell Neptune, the Communications Officer at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Many thanks to you for those updates. We just want to let you know that shortly we will be hearing from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Delmar George. We did see on Facebook, on social media, that there was an image of showing fencing had been erected along the coastline, sectioning off the waterfront of the quarantine facility in Rodney Bay, and she will be speaking to that development and giving us an greater understanding of the increased security that has had to be put in place so far at the quarantine facility. She will also be giving us an update on quarantining, home quarantine applications so far, these other important updates to the general public. So stay tuned for those updates and more coming up after this break.
Overnight, growing national unrest.
Society, a digital cashless society, one world currency.
A vaccine for COVID-19.
Droplets
of coronavirus.
Macy's iconic flagship.
Virus
Set
the coronavirus.
Everybody vaccinated.
On the corona pandemic.
Our position to the lockdown.
An infected
Conspiracy theories
about the coronavirus.
bizarre claims.
The truth about the origin of COVID-19 hidden from the rest of the world. And the Chinese.
In this constantly changing environment, resulting in sensory overload, cut through the noise and tune in to the National Television Network, the official source of information, all facts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. We continue with the leading updates coming from the government of Saint Lucia. Today, 29th June, Monday, at the top of the week, quite important. We have the common entrance students sitting their examinations. We have so much going on. But at this point in time, we have a call from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Delmar George. I believe she's on the line at this time. Is she yet? Okay, not just yet, but we did see on social media an image of showing a fencing that had been erected at the water's edge, the coastline in Rodney Bay, just sectioning off the quarantine facility's waterfront, and that is all part of efforts to increase the security at the facility, and we will be hearing more details from her on why that had to be done, and so do stay tuned for that update. Also, an update on the quarantine facility in general. There are persons been asking about applying for being quarantined at home. You will be hearing from Dr. Sharon Delmar George shortly on that. In the meantime, we just want to give you some information with regard to the second official funeral service that will be held this month. We have Mr. Cornelius Lubin, who served as the Deputy Governor General to Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louise. The Department of External Affairs has announced that an official funeral will be held for the late Mr. Cornelius Lubin, OBE, MBE, JP, who passed away on Tuesday, June 9th. Mr. Lubin served as Deputy Governor General to Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louise from August 2007 to September 2013. He also served as the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, the Director of Public Health, Director of Health Policy, and the National Population Coordinator. He was dedicated to serving his country and people at the national and community levels. The funeral for the late Mr. Cornelius Lincoln Lubin will be held at the Holy Trinity Anglican Church on Tuesday, June 30th at 10 a.m. Interment will be at the Shock Cemetery. That update, please take note of that. We will be repeating for the benefit of those who are interested in paying their last respects. Do we have Dr. Delmar George on the line? Yes? Okay. Continuing with updates for you. Carlton, I understand you have the gas prices as yet?
No.
We're just understanding that the gas prices for the most part have remained the same, but we will be getting the specifics in just a moment. We do have a word of a business process outsourcing operation that will be commencing this week. With less than a week to go before the end of June. I think it's pronounced ITIL BPO. Chairman and CEO Yoni Epstein is looking forward to opening the doors to his company's 5th brick-and-mortar business process outsourcing operation at the urinary-free zone in Vieux-Fort, Saint Lucia. A joint venture between ITEL BPO and Invest Saint Lucia on behalf of the government of that country. The partners last year began retrofitting an already established building with hopes of completing the process for an opening on April 1st this year. ITEL BPO is wasting no time to expand its Caribbean footprint. However, in an email to Caribbean Business Report, the head honcho of ITEL BPO revealed that they are launching the first client in St. Lucia on June 29th. So that is today. COVID-19 delays, that is to be taken into consideration with businesses opening this time of year. He admitted that the completion of the retrofitting process faced delays due to the ongoing coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. However, he did indicate that they're back on track. More details on ITEL BPO operation commencing this week in just a moment. But in the meantime, we have a phone call live on NTN from Dr. Sharon Delmar George, the Chief Medical Officer. Good morning, Dr. George.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you so much. It's so good to hear from you. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We've been getting word, seeing some stuff on social media, and so fortunate to have you on air to give some explanation with respect to it. All part of efforts to increase security at the quarantine facility in Rodney Bay. Can you just speak to those developments at that facility?
Yes, as the public is aware, I think from February, March, our first quarantine site was actually the Rodney Bay Public Health Facility, where persons coming in, especially persons from high-risk areas, someone who may or may not have been in contact with COVID-positive patients are held. And it is a situation that we have been monitoring. So the security team at the Rodney Bay Public Health Facility, that is the quarantine site, they continuously notified us of breaches in security at this location due to the open beach access. I think earlier on you may have heard reports of persons trying to come through the beach to visit persons who were there, and this has led to us increasing the number of people in quarantine, because we have had to quarantine persons who try to sneak in when we do find out. So in an effort to preserve health and safety of the general public and to reduce any possible direct contact between persons in quarantine and the general public, the request was made to strengthen the security measures at that location. I must also add that previously a number of other measures were put in place, including increasing the security personnel manning that area, and also the use of cameras. These measures have not been as successful as we would like, and as you would imagine, once we note that there was some level of direct contact, we now had to take those persons in and increase the tracing. So this has been a bit of an issue for us, and the Ministry of Health, we committed to ensuring the health and safety of everyone, and I think it's important that the public stay focused on what we're trying to do. We're trying to reduce transmission, we're trying to contain and keep a disease in low levels. So as we move forward, it is one of the things that we really wanted to ensure that we can, to reduce persons coming into the facilities through the beach, and also to reduce the possibility of our quarantine persons leaving. Because I don't know if you're aware of how this hotel is structured, a lot of the rooms are directly with very close proximity to the beach. So we're trying to reduce this possibility as much as possible.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. If you could just issue an appeal, more specifically to the general public at this time, for just calm heads to prevail as the government of St. Lucia and by extension the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health and Wellness, seeks to keep the population safe at this time, especially those in quarantine.
Yes, I think it is really important. I have to applaud the general public that they've worked in collaboration with the Ministry of Health very well so far, and I think a big part of where we are is from the support of the general public. I also want we need to keep focus as to what we are trying to do. We are trying to keep the public safe from COVID-19. We've seen the international news, and we've seen the effect that breaches such as that can cause on the public. So I'm asking the public to be patient with us, for some of the measures may not be as convenient. A lot of our protocols are not as convenient. But as the WHO, actually the PAHO director indicated just a few days ago, her assessment was very close to what we have been saying, that COVID-19 is here for a while, and it brings certain inconveniences at every single level. Life is not going to be the same. So we need to look at it. We also need to balance it. There are some things, certain luxuries that we may not have, but we need to keep the focus, preserving lives, keeping our populations healthy. So I would really like the public to continue working with us. Some of the measures may not be very convenient, but health and safety, the Ministry of Health, we committed to working to ensure and to strengthen that.
Okay, I don't mean to zone in too much on one particular security measure that has been taken, but just to go back to the erecting of the fencing going into the water, there was a query as to why the fencing was not done around the hotel perimeter instead of going straight into the water. Can you give an explanation to that, perhaps?
This was left to the security team as to how it was done. I know there were a number of options were looked at. I know it was a difficulty, and I know a costing was done to try to see how they could have done the entire front, and I think it would have caused some extra delays. So I'm not experienced in security and engineering, so this was left to the technical persons as to how the strengthening was done. But I think we need to focus on what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep our people safe. We're trying to reduce the spread of a disease that is infectious. And I leave it to the experts to determine how this is done.
Okay. Just another question in terms of the quarantining. If you could just give us an update. Well, we've been receiving updates in general from you with respect to the quarantine facility, but also home quarantining. We've been getting a lot of queries as to how that can be done. Can you give us a status update on how the extent of permission that has been given so far?
Yes. As we go into the month of July, for the last few months, our priority has been institutional quarantine, as it is easier for us to monitor and manage persons there. However, for our quarantine protocol, we have certain exceptions that we have had to make. For example, there are certain persons there, their health condition would not allow them to stay alone in a room where they need a level of direct monitoring by a caregiver. So that is one of the cases. We've had persons with different levels of disabilities. We have had cases of persons with certain mental health issues. We also had cases where a sudden death of a close family member and they can't stay alone because of their condition. So there are a number of exceptions that we have had to make. I don't have the exact number here, but our protocol clearly indicates who we grant home quarantine. And in all of those measures, they must have conditions to facilitate it safely. That is, a room and a bathroom that's completely away from the rest of the house. So we remain, our gold standard for quarantine is institutional quarantine, which we keep during the month of July. Persons with special conditions, they usually email with their request. Some people send in their physician's note, or they send an email indicating the consideration, and a special form is sent to them to fill out, where we decide whether or not it's granted. But our gold standard for quarantine remains institutional quarantine, except in conditions where for humanitarian and other reasons where we facilitate it out of the institutional quarantine. So we will continue, although in July we anticipate we continue repatriating our nationals from various areas. So we are hoping that we can continue and manage it as started.
Okay. There are quite a few email addresses and contact numbers coming from the Ministry of Health. Can you give an email address or perhaps a contact number that individuals who are interested in applying for home quarantining can call or email?
Yes, the email address is cmohealth@gosl.gov.lc.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for that update. Any more updates or information that are pertinent to the public at this time?
Yes, we will be updating because we've received some more negative results, so our total testing numbers will go up. I didn't work with the exact numbers right now, so we will be giving that update as well. At this point, practically everywhere is open. I think the only exceptions are cinemas and big mass crowd activities. I think all other activities to this point. So I just want to appeal to the public that although we do not have any active COVID-19 cases in country, as we've opened up, as we will be opening up the borders, our risks of transmission will be increasing. So it is important that we maintain the protocols for accessing stores and other areas. This will allow that if we have any positive cases coming in, if we adhere to the various physical distancing, use of your mask, the regular hand washing, even though a case were to come in, the transmission would be very low. So this is our main reason for keeping the protocols. And like I indicated, Dr. Etienne Frupaho indeed made it clear that it looks like we'll be in this situation for another 2 years. So it's something that we need to get used to. We need to keep our guard up if we are to keep our levels low.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Dr. Sharon Delmar George. Commendations to you as well as the Operations Command Center for a job well done in looking out for the health and wellness of the population.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it, hearing from Dr. Sharon Delmar George, Chief Medical Officer, speaking to us about the decision recently to enhance security at the Rodney Bay Quarantine facility. We will be speaking more about this when we come from this break. Do stay tuned.
As part of government's social stabilization plan to assist persons who have lost their means of earning due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the government of Saint Lucia has implemented the Income Support Program, where non-contributors to the NIC shall receive a monthly payment of $500 for the next 3 months. Taxi drivers, jet ski operators, vendors, agro-processors, tour guides, hairdressers, barbers, small bar and restaurant operators, construction workers, and other sole traders who meet the criteria can apply using the Government of St. Lucia's website www.govt.lc. Payments will be made directly via electronic transfer to the recipient's bank account. The Income Support Program, simple strides towards recovery.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. Just hearing from the Chief Medical Officer live on NTN this morning, giving us an update on the increased security measures that have been taken at the quarantine facility in Rodney Bay. And many of you would have come upon in your timelines on social media an image showing the erection of fencing, blocking off, sectioning off the waterfront of the quarantine facility in Rodney Bay. And we heard from Dr. Sharon Delmar George that this is all part of efforts to increase security. What is more concerning for me, Carlton, is that this had to be done in the first place because of indiscretions of certain individuals going to speak to individuals at the facility, perhaps engaging them, bringing stuff for them, breaches in security in general. And this is something that we discourage highly, and we've been speaking about it, and the conversation sort of whittled, in the last few weeks, and we thought that matter had been dealt with. But we do hope that if you are one of these individuals, that you desist, and measures have had to be taken. I just saw a comment in the live comments on Facebook that it's costing the government of Saint Lucia, to keep individuals away from the quarantine facility. We need to take it upon ourselves. We need to take personal responsibility in terms of adhering to the measures that have been put in place by the authorities to protect us from individuals who are in quarantine. They are under observation. They've not been given the all clear. They're coming from other countries. They're coming from a situation where the whole world is thrust into COVID-19 and we don't know who has what, and they're currently under observation, and it is hoped that you do not go for any reason. These individuals are being given meals, they are being taken care of, they have no needs, basic needs at this time. They're being accommodated at a cost completely on the purse of the government of Saint Lucia. And so we do hope that you could just bide the fortnight it takes them to be cleared by the ministry, by the health officials, in order to be returned to society, coming back home and whatnot. We did get a word from the Ministry of Health and Wellness that some 306 people are in quarantine. Most of them are nationals coming back home. And so we do hope that you could wait out the time. It's only 14 days that they have to sit in quarantine to be observed and to ensure that if there is COVID-19, any trace of COVID-19, the incubation period, they can track it and put the person in isolation if need be, and to rid them of COVID-19 as soon as possible, and continue to protect the population at large from COVID-19. We continue to be at risk. Our population continues to be vulnerable to this threat of COVID-19, and we need to take every measure possible. The officials are doing their part, and we need to complement their work by doing our own part. So please take note of that. Again, wrapping up for the morning, but we just hope you continue to abide by the protocols that have been outlined by the authorities for our safety here in Saint Lucia. Carlton?
Merci tellement, Jessie. La coutume, nous continuer par l'information. Là, Jessie a dit nous, là, il vient pour l'état défait Cornelius Lincoln, et qui a trouvé quoi, l'état qui a tient place dans l'église anglicane. Là, ça c'est mardi le 30 juin, et puis après ça quoi qu'a posé là un choc, yo ka en trouvé corps informé yon qui était à bail service tellement les vini pour Saint Lucia. Parmi l'autre bagay qu'a savent information les vini pour 6 mois ou qu'a tendre là dans situation côté monde de gamme des questions di yon pack qui trouvé corps là quand péché monde Jean Bélan mais pour aller yon côté pour l'autre, ça c'est en côté yonissé monde en quarantine la Rodney Bay, et puis là nous parler by CMO, et puis il a dit nous, ça c'est Dr. Delmar George, il a dit nous là venu pour situation pas que ça trouvé quoi il a pour raison sécurité, yo mettez pas que ça là si vous t'es bien suivre ça qui t'es fait plus bonnet ou t'es ça blani situation côté monde t'es jambé là parce que la pas une pièce pas monde t'es entoué pour gens yo monde t'es entoué sans les sécurité. Sans yo savent yo ka passer là pour ouais famille yo, et puis pour yon raison et puis en l'autre moun pa te ka tan wislan et là si moi ban nous ça pour dire a pas dit te ka coûter gouvernement pli yo teni pour mener plus sécurité, yo teni pour mettre pack ça là ou ka observer pack là ka aller tout en la mer, et question qui te demande c'est pour qui ça yo pas mettre pack là au Lyon hôtel là, mais il te ka écouter yo pli et bien aller pour ba explanation pour dire là yo te brisé yo te brisé bien vite, première manière il même kay parler baisse moun pour dire c'est mener tout en la mer là pour empêcher moun quoi il dit yon c'est pas qui bien important, c'est il le public là comprendre yo apprécier moun ka suivre protocole, mais parmi bagay il veut moun ni patience et puis les autorités là il vient pour une situation quand il dit attention c'est pour protéger public là, et yon c'est manière yo ça fait ça c'est fait assurer moun pas jambe aller ouais moun qui en quarantine changer pour qui ça yo mette yo quarantine, c'est parce que yo voulait faire assurer avant yo vient en communauté yo pas ni Covid. Il allait aussi et pour dire là ni situation là il vini pour moun qui voulait quarantine kayo, il dit là il vini pour ça quarantine supposé fait dans facilité qui gouvernement ka conduit, mais là ni situation côté yo ka bay moun opportunité pour quarantine la kayo, mais condition c'est ou supposé ni en côté qui ni bathroom ni toilette séparé hard place côté ka donc stairs si ou yon là la situation côté un moun perdu en famille et c'est yon moun qui en kay là depuis yo aller examiner place yo kay qui to wete là la situation avec mamay qui peut-être malade avec brisé attention spéciale quoi il a dit en tout ça c'est raison yo peut-être kay ba yon moun si ini pour high quarantine kay mais application ça il dit qu'a fait hod ministry a qu'on a trouvé qu'on informer les vini pour situation ça parce que là dans chay parler dit les vini pour pack ça qui là comme si de moun ka dit yo pas vle moun entrer en les beach là en les bord de la mer mais c'est pas ça c'est pour sécurité ou en public là et puis pour sécurité nous tout en cette lycée qu'on a trouvé qu'on informer les vini pour situation ça quoi nous ka nous mettez clarté en les sagesse nous ka moun kay kopan ça y a les vini pour situation bien vitement Jesse avant moi viens passer ba ou kay savent aujourd'hui les vini pour prix gaz qu'on Jesse a vraiment dit prix a changé aujourd'hui les vini pour gasoline a été même bagay là $11 et demi par gallon kerosene a été même bagay là par litre ou ka paye $7.15 les vini pour diesel ka été même bagay là $10.44 par gallon c'est petit tank cylindre gaz là ka tout manger 20 livres là ou ka paye $27 par tank 22 livres là ou ka paye 29 excusez-moi dollars que choy par cylindre et puis les vini pour tank go tank 100 livres là ou ka paye $150 presque $156 qu'on a pris à changer aujourd'hui trouver qu'on informer toute bagaille où était même à pas dit elle vini pour ces tank gaz là et puis elle est vini pour go tank 100 livres là merci tellement.
Yes, and as Carlton mentioned, now in English, gasoline remains unchanged, kerosene remains unchanged, diesel remains unchanged. The 20-pound cylinder has increased from $25.82 to $27.01, not by much. 22-pound cylinder increased from $28.40 to $29.71 per cylinder, and the 100-pound cylinder has been increased from $144.05 to $155.93 per cylinder. So please take note of these changes in the retail prices of gasoline, kerosene and diesel, as well as, in the price changes of the 20-pound, 22-pound and the 100-pound cylinders. As we wrap up for the morning, just continuing with the information of ITEL BPO, that is the business process outsourcing operation that will be commencing its business operations this week. They did indicate that they did have some delays due to COVID-19, but they will be launching their first client in Saint Lucia today, that is June 29th. And just going back, June 4th, the country began the phased reopening of its borders after revealing 100% recovery of all COVID-19 cases. 5,000 strong. The executive said that by next week the operation will be up and running with some 400 employees going through training, and by next year the founder hopes to have some 750 employees in St. Lucia, which should contribute to the company's overarching goal of employing 5,000 staff members. And the ITEL BPO was mentioned by the Honorable Prime Minister in his budget address last week towards a private sector investment being made in St. Lucia, and we're seeing the number of jobs that will be that are expected to be provided by this incoming company into St. Lucia. Finally, for today, we have a panel discussion happening this morning, moderated by Lisa Joseph. It's finance and technical assistance for medium, small and micro enterprises here in St. Lucia. That program will be live on NTN from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. this morning, streamed live on Facebook as well. The following financial institutions will present on the opportunities available: the St. Lucia Development Bank, the First National Bank, and the Labrie Credit Union. If I could just go back to the St. Lucia Development Bank, they will be the administrators of the loans that have been blended loan grant facilities that are being offered to individuals who have medium, small and micro enterprises here in St. Lucia, and that is due to the COVID-19 situation. The government of St. Lucia is moving to stimulate the economy as part of its economic recovery and resilience plan. So if you do have a medium, small or medium enterprise, we do hope that you can tune in live on NTN. It will also be streamed live on Facebook from 11 a.m. to hear from the Saint Lucia Development Bank, the First National Bank, and the Labrick Credit Union on how you can capitalize and how you can take advantage of the opportunities that have been made available through the government of St. Lucia. So stay tuned for that, 11 a.m. We are now rounding up our morning program. My name is Jessie Leonce, in studio Carlton Cyril. On behalf of the entire production team, we hope you did enjoy the program, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Stay tuned for more NTN programming. Goodbye.